Hey guys, it's Lisa here with Keller Williams South Tampa, coming at you again for another Millennial Monday. Alright, so we're going to switch up the format a little bit. I'm going to take you guys outside today because for those of you who don't know, my day job is pest control. Alright, work for Haskell. They do termite pest control, pretty much anything you can think of, rat stuff, all that fun, glamorous stuff, huh? So what I'm going to do is just going to hang out in my van, and we're going to talk about pest control, okay? Oh, no we're not, because I don't have my car keys. Alright guys, so found my keys, and so I wanted to kind of chat with you guys a little bit about pest control. There are three main components to any sort of pest control company. There's rats, keeping them out of your house and unfortunately killing them if they do happen to get in. There's termites, so the stuff that eats your house from the inside out. It's going to be a little bit different than the pest control. And there's obviously your standard pest control. That's going to be things like roaches, ants, daily annoyances, and sort of casualties of living in Florida. It's the price that we pay for a perpetual summer, is that we have bugs, and we have them everywhere, and there are multiple different types of bugs. But what we're going to talk about today is a basic overview of pest control for your home. Whether you're currently renting a home that you're living in and they don't provide pest control for you, or you're in a house that you own and you don't want to pay for pest control service. For me, I'm personally very much a DIY type of person. If I can do it myself, I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to save myself that money. So I've got a little bit of information that I'd like to share with you to make sure that you have some of these tools and resources just for yourself. All right. So there are two types of insects. At the end of the day, there's domestic and paradomestic insects. What does that mean? Domestic insect, think of that as like a dog. They cannot live without us. They depend on us for survival entirely. A paradomestic insect is kind of like a cat. They can live with or without us, and most of the time these are the types of insects that your pest control company is going after. Okay, so let me give you a really great example of domestic versus paradomestic. There are two types of roaches you can get in your house, and I'm going to talk about roaches because roaches really gross me out, and it's taken me a long time to get to a point where I'm not as squeamish about roaches as I am, or I used to be. But there are two types of roaches in this capacity too. So I'm sure you guys have seen the palmetto bugs, or the palmetto bugs. It's the technical scientific term for that is the American cockroach. So good on us, America. Way to go. That's the palmetto is the most common roach that you're going to find in Tampa, Florida. It's the most common insect that I get calls for, and this is a paradomestic bug. It lives outside or it can live inside, but typically you're not going to see large numbers of them inside of your home unless there's some other issue at play. Typically they're going to come in from outside opportunistically, so if you see them, that's okay. More than likely they're just stragglers that got in. It might be really cold and wet outside and they want to get to the dry warm. It might be the exact opposite. They want to get away from their climate, so they're coming into the house to get out of that. A domestic roach is a roach like a German cockroach, which is, if you see one German cockroach, the likelihood that it's just the one is very, very slim unless you happen to catch it at the very beginning. German roaches are the little itty bitty black ones, and they're the ones that are less insidious feeling. When you see them, they don't gross you out as bad as, say, a palmetto bug, because the palmettos are larger. But the German roach is actually way more insidious because this is a domestic roach. This is a roach that depends on us for survival, and they don't live outside. They live only inside of our homes. They can come in a number of different ways. If you know someone who has German roaches and they bring them over to your house in any capacity, whether it be in a purse or a box or anything, you are liable to then have an infestation of your own. They repopulate very quickly behind the scenes, and so if you see one German roach, hire a professional. Call someone to come out. It's worth every penny because they can reproduce at a rate of 300 to 1. And once you get to the point where you're seeing them during the day, that's really bad. But we can talk more about that. Like, if you ever had any questions about pest control, hit me up. Like, you can just call or text me anytime. 813-270-3659. That's 813-270-3659. A little bit about pest control here today. We're going to talk more about termites at another time. Alright guys, just want to show you a couple of the products that I use on a daily basis. This is Suspend. This is a broad spectrum insecticide, which is going to kill your most common household pests, domestic and paradomestic. This right here is a bag of Tall Star. This is going to go on your lawn. It gets rained in and it keeps the soil from getting ants for about 3 months. It also works on fleas and chinch bugs. If you don't know what chinch bugs are, you don't have St. Augustine grass. That's pretty much it. I got some aerosol cans here. This one, where's it at? All right, Ultracide. All right, if you ever get fleas, this is what you want, okay? If you get fleas in your house, you want to use Ultracide. And you can purchase this online or at a DIY pest control store. Before you do anything with it, call me or someone that you know who works in the field so that you can, you get a little more insight on how to use these insecticides. Especially the aerosol cans, they can get really potent really fast, and you definitely want to make sure that you're handling it correctly and not putting yourself, your children, or your pets in danger. But that's it, guys. Peace out.